we see that 5 things happened after Jesus voluntarily gave up his spirit. First, we see that the veil of the temple was torn in two from the top to the bottom. The purpose of that veil is explained in Exodus 26:33, where we read, "And you shall hang the veil from the clasps, then you shall bring the ark of the testimony in there, behind the veil. The veil shall be a divider for you between the holy place and the most holy." Here we see that the veil separated man from God. Until the blood of Jesus was shed and could take away sin, the high priest could only go into the most holy place one day each year to place blood on the mercy seat. In contrast, Hebrews 10:18-22 says, "Now where there is remission of these, there is no longer an offering for sin. Therefore, brethren, having boldness to enter the holiest by the blood of Jesus, by a new and living way, which he consecrated for us through the veil, that is his flesh, and having a high priest over the house of God, let us draw near with a true heart in full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water." These verses show us that Jesus became our sacrifice once for all, as Hebrews 10 verses 10-14 also says. Second, we see that the earth quaked. This was the first of 2 earthquakes. The second is recorded in Matthew 28 verse 2, where we read, "And behold, there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat on it." The first earthquake announced the death of Jesus. The great earthquake announced the resurrection of Jesus. Third, we see that the rocks were split. Fourth, we see that the graves were opened. The third and fourth things were the result of the first earthquake. However, the graves being opened prepared the way for the final thing that happened after the great earthquake. Fifth, after the resurrection, we see an event happened that showed the power of the resurrection to many people in Jerusalem. Matthew 27 verses 52b-53 says, "And many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised, and coming out of the graves after his resurrection, they went into the holy city and appeared to many." Notice that the word "many" is used twice in these verses. Many bodies of saints were raised after the resurrection. Then, these saints appeared to many people living in Jerusalem. The Lord may have used this appearance to many to prepare people for the great response on the day of Pentecost. Acts 2 verse 41 says, "Then those who gladly received his word were baptized, and that day about 3,000 souls were added to them." The 3,000 may have included many who saw these resurrected saints after the resurrection of Christ.